Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm kalikaiz and today we're playing Poison Storm. This is a creatureless infect deck. So the way this deck works is we're casting one of our 6 infections, which is Prologue to Phyresis. Each opponent gets a poison counter, draw a card, or Infectious Inquiry. You draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Each opponent gets a poison counter. So sometimes these things happen before or after the card draw. It doesn't matter that much on Magic Online. And then we're going to support this with 14 proliferation effects. Contentious Plan draws a card and proliferates. Experimental Augury is Anticipate with Proliferate. Vivid Surgeon's Insight is Draw 3 and Proliferate. And then I'm actually going to cut Thirsting Roots. I'm playing Steady Progress instead. I felt that having Steady Progress adds me a lot more like oomph to the deck. Just instead of just like proliferating, we are going to draw cards and proliferate. So I'm combining that with Depletion lands, which tap for 2 and have depletion counters on them. When they have no counters, they go away. But we are going to continuously proliferate, so we just have 12 lands that tap for 2, which is really good. And then we have a bunch of islands. I'm playing 6 islands here for a total of 18 lands. And rounding it out with a change to the current list, which I think has been pretty good, with 4 Lotus Petal. So in the current metagame, you need to be relatively fast, and Lotus Petal adds a little bit of extra speed, as well as a bunch of bonus storm count for Weather the Storm. And we have 8 artifacts, 3 of Everflowing Chalice, which you can add a counter on, and then every time we proliferate, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then Pentad Prism, which comes into play with Sunburst. It has counters, and as long as you don't remove all the counters, every time you proliferate, you're adding counters back. So essentially, we have 7 cost reducers in the deck. Doesn't seem like it, like we're not playing Baral, we're not playing Electromancer, but every time we cast a proliferation spell, it adds mana here, so we're basically buying back the mana. If you have 2 Pentad Prisms in play, every single one of these 2 mana proliferations is just straight up free. And then having a bunch of extra mana here allows us to cast our big 5-drop proliferation as well as our large draw spells in Lorien Revealed and Deep Analysis. And 4 of Lorien Revealed helps us go to just 18 lands. Now, the post board, I've had relatively good success with this versus aggro, but I'm starting to stall out versus control. So I have 2 Deep Analysis in the sideboard, as well as 3 Bring the Ending for control decks. And you'll note that I have 1 Mystical Teachings in the main deck that can take the place. That's basically covering the slot of the 5th Weather the Storm, the 3rd Steady Progress, and the 3rd Prologue. And it also allows us to have 1 of Suffocating Fumes for a sweeper, and 2 Arms of Hadar for sweepers. And we have 2 of Anoint with Affliction, which we can get with Teachings. 3 of Moment's Peace, so an effective 4 copies, and 2 Serrated Arrows. So the arrows are really sweet because it enters the battlefield with arrowhead counters on it, and then you remove a counter to put a -1/-1 counter on a creature. So that means that every time you proliferate, you're going to keep -1ing that creature, which is sweet, as well as getting back your arrowhead counters. Now, obviously our new additions to this list recently, Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal is just making this deck more expensive, which is wild. But Steady Progress, even though it's not been printed very much, that's relatively cheap to pick up. So hopefully it's not too hard to get the cards. And if you want to get the cards, check out cardmarket.com, which is the largest seller of Magic the Gathering cards in Europe. And you can hit them up if you want to build a battle box and start poisoning out your friends at FNM. Now, this deck is really fun. I do have a bunch of sideboard guides for it on the Patreon, which is patreon.com/kalikaiz. And I will just go ahead and put up a Patreon sideboard guide for this specific list, and that will be up when the video comes out. So if you want to head on over there, you can get the sideboard guide, you can download the list, you can buy it, you can start jamming. It's really, really sweet. And I will be looking forward to recording a couple more Pondering Pauper episodes. It's just timing hasn't been great for me, but we'll get that out as well. And that's it for me. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the matches. All right, round 1, we're on the play, which is where we want to be, versus Merlot BDS. The last time I faced this player, they were on Gardens. Maybe they'll be on that as well. So this hand is relatively keepable, I think. Let's play this Woodlot and pass. The 3 Insights is kind of sketchy, and they're on Gardens, so this is a awesome matchup for us. Let's play the Sappers and Scary out. Get this Everflowing Chalice on the table. And then the plan is in 2 turns, I'm going to cast a Vivid Surgeon's Insight off of 2 islands, Scary, and the Chalice. And they Fanatical Offering their plant token. I don't need to cycle right now. If I draw Depletion, I'd rather play that than another land. And it looks like I just draw land anyway. So I'm going to pass the turn. On the next turn, I'm going to cast the Insight. And then the turn after that, we're going to start hopefully doing a bunch of stuff. Our opponent casted Crypt Rats. Okay, we have all the 5-drops. So this is turn 4. We get to cast a 5-drop. Pretty nice. And we have 7 cards in hand, so I will just pass. Now we could play out the Lotus Petal now, but I think that we want to save it for Storm Count for potential Weather the Storm later. They're going to map onto the Rats, find a Wellspring. So this is really good for them because they can ping on every person's turn once with the Crypt Rats and continue to drain me. Play Lembas and bottom. Okay. So they got rid of the Wellspring and played the Lembas and bottomed. Let's see. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast the Vivid Surgeon's Insight. We don't have any poison yet. So I think it might be better to just look for a poison spell here. Or we could play land and cast Insight again. But if I play Woodlot, I'll have more mana later. So let's look for a poison spell. We want to get that going early. Find Infectious Inquiry, okay. We'll proliferate onto our stuff. I'm definitely not putting anything onto that Crypt Rats. And here's a Lotus Petal, which can cast this Inquiry here. We're not going to be storming on this turn. I'll play the Peat Bog. And he says GG's. I think he's going to concede the match. Yeah. Yes, some of these matchups with Poison Storm are too free. Too free. We'll see in match 2. Oh, okay, we went to sideboarding. Never mind, never mind. Oh, no, okay, there's the match. Okay, let's go to match 2. Okay, match 2, we're on the play. We're versus Ivor and OP, who is probably playing Burn. They were playing Burn the last time I faced them. That makes this a bit scarier. We have play the Woodlot. Turn 2, we cycle for an island, and then play the Pentat Prism. And then if we can draw 1 mana proliferation, we're good. So I'm going to keep this. I mean, being on the play, I have to keep a hand that does stuff. They mulligan to 6. All right, let's play the Woodlot. Now you can see here, this is where Steady Progress is actually worse. Okay, they're on Boros. Found the Contentious Plan, which is really good for me. But Steady Progress is worse than Thirsting Roots sometimes when you actually can't cast a spell. Let's put our Prism on the table and pass the turn. Next turn, we're probably going to go Contentious Plan, proliferate back our Woodlot. And then I would like to probably just cast the Infectious Inquiry. I need to make another land drop here. They play Novice Inspector into a Glinthawk, pick up the Ancient Den. They pick up the Clue, okay. We found a Lorien Revealed that could be a land drop. Contentious Plan. So I can cycle for an island, play the island, and then go for the Infectious Inquiry and pass the turn. So we're at 18 now. We're going to be taking 3. Hopefully they just don't draw glitters very quickly. If Dawnbringer Cleric away a card and just gain life, that's fine. Not worried about life gain. Okay, let's Contentious Plan. You go to 2 poison. Play this Peat Bog, and I will pass the turn. So the problem is that, I mean, we could Steady Progress. It's just basically cycles. It doesn't give us any extra mana. They're getting in for 4, so we go to 11. We probably do need to Steady Progress just to get closer to a potential Weather the Storm. Okay, find a Chalice. See, that's what I would have liked to have in play before I cast the other card. So let's cast the Chalice. And then use the black mana, I guess. So tap for 5 mana. We're going to not use these until we need to, so we can save the mana on them. They go to 4 poison. So now I can play the Lotus Petal. Okay, let's see. If I go Lotus Petal, then I use this. I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Then I can Teaching, so that's not enough. I'm going to try Experimental Augury looking for Weather the Storm. Did not find it. And an Inquiry. 2, 1. So now here we could blow the prism and the chalice to go for teachings into Weather the Storm, but I don't really want to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is play the lotus petal out here and pass the turn. This is 4 damage. If they like try to burn us out, then we can respond with teachings for weather. You're getting in for 4. We're going to go to 7. Plays a Glynhawk. Okay. They pass the turn. Another inquiry is not very good. So I'm going to tap these. I guess I leave up the black mana for a potential inquiry. Draw. There's a Weather the Storm. We go to 6 poison. Now we have Pentad Prism, which is sick. So we'll cast that. And then we can go blue, cast Steady Progress. They go to 7 poison. So I can go 3, 4, 5, cast Vivisurgeon's Insight. I'm nervous that they have exactly enough to dome me here, but maybe they don't. Let's get the Scary into play. Cast the Insight. Another Weather the Storm is exactly what I was looking for because I was trying to find double weather so that I could weather right now and then weather again if they kill me, if they go for the lethal. So this is 15 life. You have it? They don't have it. So if they don't have it, then they're just dead because we have Prologue and we have Inquiry. Awesome. So that was a turn 6 kill. It was pretty fast for Poison Storm and we kind of floundered a little bit, but you can see that the Prisms and the Chalice were awesome. They did not draw their glitter and then we won. So post board here, the problem is going to be that they have glitters and they have Pyroblast. But I think the most important thing is staying alive. I'm actually going to cut the teachings and the prologues. I just don't think that this does enough, like, overall. And then I'm going to bring in the Serrated Arrows and the Weather the Storm. And then we know they have Pyroblasts. So we can either bring in Deep Analysis or bring the ending to get through the Pyroblast. I think I want to bring in the Deep Analysis to continue to draw cards, and we're just going to chain and like ping out their creatures, and it should be good. That's my plan. You know, if they have a very, very fast glitters, maybe we won't get there, but it might work. I like this plan overall. Another thing you could do is just go hard on the Moments piece. I just don't think that's really where you want to be. They're going very, very wide, and the arrows can just really take out most of their stuff. So this looks like it's going to be a good hand. We have land, cycle, augury, looking for an artifact, and then turn 3 we go woodlot, or we play the artifact and then play contentious plan or something. I guess I'm keeping. I talked myself into it. There's a lot of potential here because we have all of these proliferations, but if we whiff on lands or artifacts, it's going to be a problem. We play a Thraben Inspector on turn 1. Okay, we find a Scary. So I guess I can play out the Scary first, because next turn I can play Woodlot and cast Augury, looking for an artifact. Once we have artifacts in play, Contentious Plan becomes very good, but just as a blind draw early, it's not super great. So it looks like they're going to end step to Clue Token, which I'm going to just go yield until my current end step and Augury in response so that don't Pyroblast. Cast the Augury. Let's just take this Peat Bog here. Set up the land drops. We're not looking very speedy at the moment. They play a Limbus, okay. Holding up Mountain for Pyroblast. Gets in. Play the Peat Bog. Then I can pass. They're really considering whether or not they want to hold their Pyroblast. Plays a Thraben Inspector. Okay. They're getting in. Holding open Pyroblast / the Clue Token. I'm going to cycle for an island here. And take my turn. Alright, I'll play this Woodlot out. I'm nervous that I'm going to die now. Yep. We have double proliferation if they crack the clue. And go Steady Progress into Augury. Steady Progress. Proliferate a bit. This one's proliferate and then draw. On a Contentious Plan. Let's cast the Augury. Looking for Weather the Storm. Okay. Arrows is actually probably where we want to be here. And pass. Play a Synthesizer. Finds a Novice Inspector. Plays a Glynhawk. Picks up the Synthesizer. Finds the Glitters. They're going to probably play the Glitters. That's a 5/6. Play Novice Inspector. They get in for 7. Dangerous. Play my serrated arrows. I think that I'm going to be too slow here. Playing this. Let's play a contentious plan. Boink. Draw a card. Lotus petal. Alright, contentious plan again. Boink. Done. I need Weather the Storm here. Did not find it. I can just contentious plan again, but they have a lot of power. Boink. Some burn spells would kill me here. We didn't find Weather the Storm. I think we probably should have, I don't know. Finds a synthesizer off a synthesizer. They have 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 power on the table. I don't even know what they got. Was it glitters? Pass into the fire on the arrows. Okay. They have 7 power, so if they have a burn spell, we're dead. Plays a crag. Maybe I was playing too scared of a pyroblast. Gets in. Alright, let's go. Guess we're dead to lightning bolt here. We can just attempt to cast the insight. I feel like they have pyroblast in hand. They've been representing it the whole time. Yeah, I'm done. So let's see. Maybe the teachings is still good to keep in. I really liked having the arrows though. That was a good card. Or we could just, maybe the arrows isn't as good as just bringing in the anoints, but having a random anoint in play is not as good long term. I'm gonna cut 1 chalice. All right, can we do it? Mulligan. Wow, I don't like this hand very much. Let's keep it though, I guess. Play the peat bog. That's the turn. Turn 2, we go peat bog again, or yeah, peat bog plus Everflowing Chalice. Turn 3, woodlot, play inquiry. They play a Thraben Inspector on turn 1. Kind of scary. So play peat bog, cast the chalice, pass the turn. I mean, scary is really good, but it's 2 turns away from being a useful mana source. So maybe we just put the scary in play because the woodlot is really just to be used for Weather the Storm. They play another Novice Inspector. They're inspecting. Pass this. Scary. Now we have Weather the Storm off of the Lotus Petal. They're going to attack. Plays a Glinthawk. Picking up a clue. Play this woodlot. I'm going to pass. They crack the clue. Problem is I need another way to draw cards and get some proliferation going. They get in. We go to 11. Cast a Limbus. Vinceguard Crag holding that Pyroblast up. The word Deep Analysis would be good. Maybe they won't pyro a contentious plan. That seems unlikely though. They didn't pyro it. You go to 2. Wow. Stalled out. Just don't have anything going on. Basically need to be able to draw a contentious plan right away. I mean, not a contentious plan. Going for the bolt. Okay, I probably should have played the Lotus Petal then. I'll try to weather here. They have a glitters, so that's 7. Just double glitter. 12, 13, 14. So I am pretty close to being dead. Classic glitters, and we lose. We just didn't draw any cards that draw cards, so let's go on to round 3. Alright, we're here in round 3 versus Pure Lino on the draw. We have a very large amount of mana. And I mean, I'm going to keep it because I like having a very large amount of mana. It might be too much mana. We have 1 cantrip. We have Everflowing Chalice. We're going to untap with a ton of mana on turn 3. Plays a mountain. So woodlot looking good. Plays the Blast Runner. Let's see if I can succeed in my sideboard plan here as well. Okay, woodlot into scary, plus we have this deep analysis lined up. I like that. There's a Voldaren Epicure for the opponent. So this could attack for 3 right now. No, they play a Tomb Raider and attack for 3 anyway. They're quickly on the table here. Being on the draw. Scary. And I'll play my scary. Cast this. And then I think it's probably necessary to play the Lotus Petal. And then contentious plan right now. I'll have 7 mana on my turn 3. On another Lotus Petal. So we're looking to draw into a Weather the Storm. We have 6, 7, 8 mana. They're just going to Bushwhacker. I mean, Okay. It's in. Are they going to blood token for an extra couple of points? We go to 7. They have 2 cards in hand. Plays an implement. Next turn, we're getting attacked for a ton. Find an augury. So I can lead on the augury. Find a Vivisurgeon's Insight. 1, 2, 3. So 3, 4, 5. And then I have to draw into Weather the Storm right now. Did not find it. So we lose. We are on the draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Darn. Well, let me see the cards. I mean, sometimes you're on the draw, I guess. We're bringing in the sweepers. I'm going to cut the prologues because they don't actually help us that much. And I'm going to cut the teachings because now I have a massive amount. Well, I shouldn't cut the teachings, right? Then what else can I cut? 1 chalice. Teachings helps me get the fumes and the weather. We're looking for a hand that's speedy. Okay, on the play. Arms of Fadar. This is too clunky. We're going to mulligan. Okay, this looks a lot better. Gonna keep this. I think we're furthest from casting the deep analysis. Lead on the woodlot and pass the turn. So turn 3, I can inquiry off the lotus petal plus play the pentad prism. They play the blast runner on turn 1 again. Makes sense. Find a deep analysis anyway. Let's pass the turn. Opponent has another mountain, another blast runner, and a reckless lackey. So they're going to attack for 2 this turn. Not quite as strong a start, but also very strong a start. What's interesting with the lackey is they can hit in for first strike and then crack it after that first strike damage and then pump these 2. Let's play the pentad prism first. And then I think I probably should just make a black and use inquiry off this. Looking for proliferation. There's a proliferation. Let's play this peat bog and pass. Next turn, it's like island, experimental augury, deep analysis. Hopefully we find a Weather the Storm or a sweeper. We're going to get hit for 1,000,000. If you have the Bushwhacker here, I'm going to be very sad because I think this is lethal on turn 3. 6. It's kind of unreal. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 damage. They just had turn 3 regardless of what I did. Okay. Yeah. I'll see you in round 4. All right, William. We're on the draw. Pentad Prism's awesome, but we don't have other sources, and we have no proliferation. I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this seems fine. Let's keep it. Put back the deep analysis. They play a forest. So they're probably on Bogles or... Yep, Bogles. That's definitely not good. Play the scary. So for Bogles, we have to bring in our moments pieces, but they're a very fast deck. Okay, gets in for 1. You'll love to see it. Okay, Woodlot, let's play the prologue. Let's get on the table. Find a steady progress. Mask, hit for 1 again. Okay, find a contentious plan. So let's go plan first, and then we can cast the progress, because that's the more expensive proliferation spell. Put them to 3. And I'm seriously needing a artifact now. Rancor, that's 5 damage. And another mask. 11. Okay. Mono green Bogles. Alright, we have Weather the Storm. Let's contentious plan. Oh, I should have done that before I should have played my land first. That was a mistake. Another weather. Play this land. Play the lotus petal. Cast Weather the Storm. That puts me +3 or +9 going to 16. All right. Plays another Bogle. Gets in for 11. We go to 5. Finding experimental augury is good. I'm gonna augury. Looking for, so I find augury or prism. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh man, that's tough. I do think I want the prism. Play the prism. You go counter, 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 counter. Done. Play the prism. Maybe I should have cycled this for an island last turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast the Vivisurgeon's Insight. An untapped land. I did not find an untapped land. That was not great. So now we have, I guess, just play the peat bog. And then we have plus 12. Weather the storm. We're at 17 again. They're gonna hit for 12 this turn. We go to 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Weather the storm. So let's see. Cast this chalice. Cast Lorien Revealed. This gives me plus 9. I can play the scary and tap for Weather the Storm. Pass the turn. Go to 14. They're going to hit for 12, so I can't actually cast the Infectious Inquiry now. Darn. That was our 3rd or 4th weather. Alright, I will go out on my own terms. Bam! Alright. Darn. So, I want all the Moment's Peace, and I don't think Fumes is really worth it, and we need to win the game quickly. I'm going to cut on 1 Chalice and 1 Petal. Let's submit. Maybe I just had a fluke of a run when I trophied with this deck. Oh, I actually could do this. Go to 60 cards. Maybe the Moment's Peace means that I don't need the Petal as much, so I could bring the Chalice back in. Got these. Got 1 steady progress. Let's just go 2 and 2 here. That's tough. Alright, I would like to play first. And all I need is a bunch of Moment's Pieces, right? That's all I need. Okay, let's keep this hand. Because we have the Prism. And we have a Weather the Storm to live. And we can go turn 3 Prism into Inquiry. We'll have 2 mana left over, really, using the Prism. So let's lead on the Peat Bog in case we draw a Contentious Plan or an Augury. William plays a Forest and a Bogle. Another Inquiry. Not exactly what I was looking for. They play another Forest. It's just mono green. No, here's probably Abundant Growth. Okay, Utopia Sprawl. Chooses white, so they are 2 color. Ethereal Armor puts it at 3 damage. They're floating in green still, and they have the Rancor to put it at 6. This is probably a turn 3 from our opponent again. Yikes. Alright, we have another land. Let's Pentad Prism. Done. Cast the Inquiry. And play this Peat Bog out. And pass the turn. I could have gone for Weather the Storm there. 7 damage. Choose green. Okay. And that's turn 3 again. Like, okay. We can't win. Let's go to round 5. We're here in round 5, fighting for the 2-3. And we're on the draw. We have to mulligan our first hand. We find our second hand is pretty decent. Just put back a Lotus Petal. Play Drossforge Bridge. Okay, I'm going to play a Peat Bog. I think I can beat Drossforge Bridge. It's either, well, it could be Goblin Combo, and then I couldn't necessarily beat it. Second Bridge. Goblin Tomb Raider. Okay. It's Rakdos Burn. Play Scary. Let's pass. I'll play Scary again and Deep Analysis on turn 3. So we're at 18. Probably going to be at 12 or 13 after this turn. Go to 16. I'm at 14. Happening quickly. Need to find a Weather the Storm here. Let's Deep Analysis. There's a Weather the Storm. Play the Scary. So the next turn I'm going to do some things. Can they kill me from 14? I don't think so. Maybe. They have 4 cards in hand. Puts me to 9. Triple Bolt kills me, I guess. They have 3 cards in hand. Looting. Fiery Temper and Kitchen Imp. So Kitchen Imp is not a bolt. But we're now dead to Galvanic, I think. This is 4. We're at 8. Yeah, dead to Galvanic. Oh my goodness. Okay. Why do we never get a turn 4? This format is crazy. So, I like the arrows over the prologues because they can take out the creatures that our opponent's playing. Otherwise, we don't really have any good options. I would like to play first. I'm going to try to get lucky like my opponents. Okay, this is a decent hand. Let's keep. We have Lotus Petal as our second mana source. So play the scary, F6, and then see what happens. Our opponent mulligans to 5, so they're making up for their pretty sick start. And honestly, that was my mistake, right? I didn't imagine that they could deal me that much damage in one turn. Did not see the scenario of that. Obviously, they had it. Darn. Okay. Scary. The power play. Our opponent is going to play a mountain and a Voldaren Epicure. So we can Chalice, Petal, Augury looking for another land. Then if we find another land, we can play the Insight next turn. Play this. Play Lotus Petal. Play Petal, or play Augury. Find Pentad and Weather the Storm. Gotta take the Pentad here. It's kind of strange, but next turn we can play Pentad Prism off of the Chalice mana and the Scary, and then cast Contentious Plan. Then we'll have a bunch more mana on the next turn. We're gonna get hammered by a Shatter effect, like Smash Smithereens or whatever like that. Our opponent gets in for 1. Now we could play the arrows and just pop that. Play the Pentad Prism, and play Contentious Plan. They have a Pyroblast, we're hosed. Done. Another Chalice. We play a Looting. Kind of not drawing lands here. So I think this next turn, I probably play Chalice off of the other Chalice, and then use that plus the Chalice mana, the 2 Scary mana, and 1 from the Prism to draw 3 cards. Oh, that was pretty good for me. They had to discard 2 cards, and they can only use 1 of them, which will be the Kitchen Imp. They attack for 3. Okay, never mind. They have a land. I'll cast this with Multi-Kicker, and then tap 4 mana, play Augury. Now that was much better of a draw. And then what do we find? We find an island, I think. Done. Play the island. We can cast the Serrated Arrows. Put a counter here. Cast Weather the Storm. So next turn, their Kitchen Imp can get killed by our Vivisurgeon's Insight. They go for the Galvanic Blast. We're at 23 now. So somewhat healthy of a life total. They get in. Let's try a Steady Progress. If they have a Pyroblast, I don't want the Insight to get pyroed. Play the Pentad Prism. I'm going to try this Inquiry here. If I can draw a 2-mana Proliferation. Yeah, I did it. Play the Scary, and we find the Augury. And get a Lotus Petal, which probably is worth it over the island and stuff. We have a lot of mana already. And I guess that's it for my turn. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Assuming they don't have a Pyro, but I'm still concerned. I don't want to play into it directly. Right now, anyway. On their attack step, we can just pop the Epicure and not take the damage from it. They have a Galvanic. We go to 15. Alright, they're going to combat. I'll just get rid of this. Looks like they have a Deadly Dispute. They Deadly Dispute the Epicure, and now they have 2 mana still. Plays a land, 3 cards in hand. Oh, even more likely to have a Pyroblast. Playing it. They didn't have it. Yay. Okay, we're going to put stuff on all of our things. And we have a black mana. So we'll cast this Infectious Inquiry. Getting sketchily low on life. Cast a... Let's play the Scary. Ah. They scoop it up. Wow, they just had nothing. It would have gone... 1, 2, 3... Not... Oh! We would have gone off quite hard. Looks like we might not have been able to draw the Weather Storm. It was pretty close. Let's see. 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Draw a card. Then we go 1, 2, 3. Augury. Find the Weather Storm. Yeah, sweet. They made the right choice. We would have won. Let's see if we can do it again. Okay, for all the marbles. I'm going to keep this. Any second land, and we do a bunch of stuff. If we don't find a second land, we can Experimental Augury looking for a land. Our opponent mulligans to 5 again. Yikes. They play a ping land. Alright, Scary Pass. So I've actually found that if you're playing this deck, you want to get your Chalice in play first, because that card, this grows and stacks as the game progresses, versus the Prism doesn't stay on the table because you have to use it and put it back on over and over. They're going to Faithless Looting. Got 2 good cards here for 5 damage and some damage continuing. So let's see what we can do. Find an insight. I think I go Contentious Plan, then I'll have 4 mana. I can cast 1 Prism, then cast the Experimental Augury, and then maybe cast the other Prism. Contentious Plan. Done. Lotus Petal's good. So I can go Lotus Petal. Oops. Play the Prism. Play another Prism. And then I can tap this for mana, and blue, cast Experimental Augury. I'll have 1 mana left over. Find a Lotus Petal. Have not played a land yet. We're going to have this. So the question is, do I play the land or do I take the big draw spell? I think I'm taking the draw spell. All right, pump up all my stuff. And then we'll go steady progress here. Pump up all my stuff again. Let's see if we draw a land. We did draw land. So let's pass the turn. Got a little bit lucky drawing the land there. They play a land, they got 3 cards in hand. They're going to put me to 12, and then they cannot Galblast me to lethal. If I play the Infectious Inquiry, they might be able to. They're passing the turn. Another Pentad Prism. Play the Prism. And I'm just going to use this mana right now, even though it's a little bit of a waste, because if they counter it, then I can do it again. Because I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's cast an Insight. No counter. And 2, 3. So put this into play. Cast Experimental Augury. Find a Progress. I'm growing all of my stuff. That's basically my plan here, is just trying to get these things growing. I might be losing all my proliferations. Let's progress again. Finding a Lotus Petal. I really don't want to die. Cast the Inquiry. Finding an Experimental Augury is good. So we can Augury, trying to find a Weather the Storm. We didn't find it. Have we played a land? We did play a land. So I'll take the Lorien Revealed then. Go to 2. And I'm putting counters on all my things. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can actually cast another Insight. Wow, we still did not draw into a Weather the Storm here. You go to 3. We're kind of out of mana. Cast another Vivisurgeon's Insight. Storm is currently 9. We've drawn 1,000,000 cards. There's a Weather the Storm. And that should seal the deal. Okay, you're at 4 poison. I can just make some storm count here. And now how much mana do I have left over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's cast a Lorien Revealed. Storm is 11. I mean, given that they scooped previously, I bet they probably scoop right now. Can you deal me 10 damage? Let's go. Gain 36 life? Question mark? Okay, resolves. They scoop. We go 2 and 3. I mean, if we didn't get turn 3'd constantly, then maybe we could have done a little bit better. And Poison Storm is a little bit of like a deck where you need to kind of figure out what you're about to do, what your opponent's doing, and how you can mulligan. So you're really mulliganing to the good starts of depletion, off color, and these 2 things. Now the other thing is, maybe I should have been on, instead of Mystical Teachings in Progress, been on the Thirsting Roots again. So that's something I'll have to consider. I think if you do put Thirsting Roots into your deck, you have to probably add more Deep Analysis, because you're losing out on a couple of card draw spells, but maybe not that much of it. So maybe these could just be Thirsting Roots. We would change back to basics here, and then maybe cut a Chalice for a Deep Analysis or a Lotus Petal for a Deep Analysis or something. But we'll see how that goes, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. # still listening. All right, see you there.